Okay, boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast today. We have an amazing guest with us, one who's going to give us amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than our Brother Gregory. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Well, Laker Salam, my brother, my, I would say family, brother, family, all of that, man, and some more. I am honored, man, to be on your show. I'm really, really proud of you. I've watched your show several times, and you've had
Hmm.
some amazing guests on your show. And this is true content. You know, I hear a bunch of people talking about they content creators. I don't want to bust your bubble or they bubble, theirs. And I was saying your bubble, the people who are watching, and I am because I believe in inspiring, and I hope that you would do what Josh is doing and get some content and be a creator like you are doing, man. So because when I hear those terms, I mean, it's like, Lord have mercy. I talk about that later with the new terminologies. I can't wait to just spread a little bit information on it. And I learned a lot of it from Clubhouse.
Mm,
Uh,
mm.
oh my God. During the pandemic, you
Yes,
know,
sir.
and the pandemic, but more so the pandemic. But anyway, man, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yes, sir. All right, great. And thank you to everyone who is showing love already all around the world. The first question that we have for you is, when did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Man, you know what? I heard the teachings and didn't know I heard the teachings or didn't know they were the teachings from a lot of people. Uh, I stopped eating pork in 1972. I was a freshman in high school. My brother, Nate, he inspired me and he knew the teachings. He were also inspired by someone. So I learned the teachings from real people who were really in love with Black people and had that type of rapport. Now, again, I didn't know, but I knew that what they were saying made sense to me. But officially, you know, I came into the nation in 1982.
Mm.
But around 81, I remember I was in college and it was a brother had the message to the Black man down at Des Moines, Iowa. And I was down there, you know, running track. And I ran into him walking across the campus. And this brother, I didn't have no money. And it was $7, but you know, you poor in college. $7 is a lot of money.
Yes, sir.
So I don't know what I think that's what he was selling it for. And I say, hey, man, I really want that book, man. Look at that book. Look at the cover. I said, please, man, I found a way to I find a way to give you the money. And bro, that brother knew. He's like, because he was just passing through. And he said, here, man, you can have the book, brother. You
Mm.
can just have it. And then to show you how God works, later on, um, I had so many books. I had Jerry Girls. My God, Jerry Girls, man. Hold on, don't y'all laugh, because that ain't funny. My Jerry Girls was cool. Anyway, I joined the nation. I'm at the final call building. This brother, same brother, he don't remember me. You know, of course, I don't have Jerry Girls. I got on the FOI uniform. I'm a secretary under Brother Whitehead, you
Mm.
know, and I got my, and the brother, when he runs up, when he see me, you know, he just go, brother, he said, New York? He started naming cities. I said, no, sir. Keep going. He said, I don't know where. I said, Des Moines, Iowa. I
Mm.
said, you sold me. I said, here's your money. Here's your $7. True story. That brother had tears in his eye. You never know who you plant seeds in. And you don't know when they're going to germinate. You don't know. And so don't always look to make a dollar from the paper or from a book or from a tape. Give it away, because Allah will bless you tenfold. And that brother had tears in his eyes, and I had them in mine. I never thought that I would. He never thought that he would see me again and like that. From that, he was stuck. I mean, he was so messed up in a good way that he couldn't believe it. He said, man, I got to tell this story to everybody all day, that this brother that I sold, or I gave that message to the black man, look, he's right here. He thought it was like a dream.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So yeah, so in 1982, I was working for Independence Bank of Chicago. That's the same bank, mind you, that the minister, they wanted the minister to take the $5 million. Don't put it in this bank, because they got that pressure from the Jewish community. Mr. Boutte, I knew all of them board members, but I ain't get into that silly conversation that them, they had to cow down. But anyway, yeah, 1982, man.
Powerful. All praises due to Allah. Now I wanted to ask you, how did your family and friends feel about you accepting the teaching?
Oh, my mother was happy as you could imagine. My mother knew that here's her son. We had moved out of the projects. We were living on 63rd and Elizabeth. My mom was, and my mother, because my brother Nate we had stopped eating pork, so mom knew it was something different about what Nate had, come to know. And my mother, the discipline, on Friday nights, I'm over at the final call at a study group. My mother was happy to know that I wasn't someplace else, partying or doing something. So she's like, I don't know what they do over there, but I see you eating different. I see you trying to be different. I see you trying to be more disciplined. I wasn't perfect, ain't perfect now. You have faults and shortcomings, but my mother, she really thought it was an amazing thing. And then when she started hearing the teaching, there's always a little pushback. She didn't push back, but there were things that Black folks' traditions were stuck with. My mom wasn't taking down a tree, but dig this. Mom loved the minister. And the minister loved my mother. They got to meet each other. So my mother was happy, and so was my father, a great musician in St. Louis. He embraced the fact that I was involved with the nation. My family did. They loved the minister. But it was not being in the building. It was like seeing me grow. It wasn't a bow tie. It wasn't a final call newspaper. It wasn't no bean pie. It wasn't not assalamu alaikum. That means peace. And, we use that term like you trying to get a brother's attention. Assalamu alaikum. No, just say, hey.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum means peace be unto you. I say that to say it wasn't even about that. It was about, are you going to be a better person? Are you going to try to be more positive? Are you going to try to be, more family oriented? All of that. That's what she was really embracing, that growth, not just because you at a temple or a mosque or a cathedral or a kingdom hall or wherever you go. It was really to see you begin to show light, to show maturity, to show growth. That's what she really was excited about.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. Okay. And thank you to everyone who's showing you love all across the world. Thank you all for your comments, your likes, your shares, and subscriptions. I wanted to ask you, we're gonna come back to the minister and your mother, but I wanted to ask you about what was it like with Brother Wahid being in the secretary office? How did that come about?
Oh, Lord, have mercy. What a man. I love him to this day. Brother Wahid was, this minister, he was one of the first with the
Mm.
minister when, opened his eyes, when the minister, had the experience with Brother Jabril
Yes,
and
sir.
Brother Wahid, and all of them was right there in the beginning. So he was a pioneer. It was a great experience. With me and Brother Wahid became very good friends.
Mm.
He loved my energy. I loved his energy. I had a lot of stories, to tell in terms of being an athlete and my father. And so Brother Wahid was very, very nice to me. He was very, very, he was the type of man that I looked up to and still look up to, because he treated me with respect and honor, and I was able to help out in that capacity. So it was really good. We had jokes, we told each other funny stuff. We laughed a lot. We laughed.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. And I also wanted to know, what are your parents' names? Because you spoke about them, so we want to make sure we show our
Oh,
respect
yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
Yes. My mother is Juanita Sane. May God be pleased with her. She passed on. And my father is Oliver Sane, one of the greatest musicians on the planet. Daddy and Ike and the Ikeettes, when they broke up, they became my father's group, the
Mm.
Oliver. So Daddy
Mm.
produced Fontella Bass's record "Rescue Me" and Shirley Brown, "Woman to Woman." But Daddy did Soul Serenade, Phil Perry. A lot of artists came from
Go
Dad,
ahead.
and the Robbie Montgomery that owned Sweetie Pies, they became my daddy's group. So Daddy took on Robbie and made sure she had a job.
Mm.
And she was in the band. She was one of the backup dancers for Tina. And so my father, Oliver Sane, produced a lot of musicians. Was a studio. Daddy was a studio manager for Chess Records. So when you see that
Okay. Okay.
Cadillac Records, my father was the studio manager, and Earth, Wind, and Fire, they were studio musicians.
Mm.
My daddy was the manager. So, yep, that's part of my history. No, I don't play any instruments. Sadly to say.
Yes, sir. Great history. All right. Now, what was it like for you? When did you first meet the Most Honorable Minister Farrakhan?
Oh man, in '82,
Mm.
Minister Farrakhan is my friend.
Mm.
Um, he's not just, you know, uh, the minister to me. He's the minister, but he administered a certain type of. We connected. My
Mm.
birthday is May the 13th. His May the 11th. But we really showed a certain synergy and energy with each other. I
Mm.
didn't come to the nation with low self-esteem. I didn't come to the nation. That's just the truth. I've learned so much from him in the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But the minister really, man, gave me definitely more courage. I knew it had to be a God, got to be a God backing him, because I was searching, I was looking for a voice, for a spirit, for an energy, for a frequency that I felt really loved the people and loved humanity. Just wasn't this black thing, but it was really a spiritual thing for the whole world if they would just listen. So the minister is a friend, and he'll tell you, we that's the kind of love that he exhibited to me. He's shown me. I've had some amazing conversations with the minister. Minister asked me to do things. I remember having this conversation. I was a young boy. I was just 20, 26, 25, 24, I don't know, something like that. And I remember, and I still see him the same way. At 65, I still, I'm like a little boy when I'm around him.
Mm.
I'm a
Mm.
man, but I just humble myself, because being that young around him and now being 65, I'm so thankful. But I just remember every conversation I've had with him has been inspiring. And he knew that I came in the nation already loving Black people. I came in the nation already wanting to see Black people free. I did. It's just the truth. So that's why I've always treated people like I wanted to be treated. When you hear, want for your brother what you want for yourself, or your sister what you want for yourself, that creed, that means a lot to me. The minister knew. We had to talk, and I remember, and I was over the final call, and I went over to the house, and I remember him putting his head down on the desk, and I said, because he's like, what was on my mind? And I said, I was coming across some people. I was like, brother minister, I said, some of these people, man, I don't think they like Black people. And he said, huh? And then I realized that it was a hospital. I realized that it was a clinic, and that everybody that comes in is really coming in to get better. All of us to come in to get better. And some people do overdose, and some people don't take their medicine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I say that because he knew that when you start seeing, defects, you see people who might be so hard, act hard, tough, except no, they meant well, but everybody have a different way to approach this work, of raising the dead. But it's deeper than just quotes. It's really trying to make a difference. You use the teachings and you could quote them all day long, but it's how you treat people.
Yes, sir.
Religion ain't what you profess. I don't care what your title is, a banner is. Religion is what you practice.
That's right.
Every single day. That's your religion. Your religion, my religion is so what is Islam? What is Christianity? What is, being a Hebrew? It's really about how do you treat people? You treat them like you want. That's the golden rule. Do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. That's your religion. All the other stuff is culture, rituals. But the other piece is human interaction, service. Yeah.
Beautiful. Go ahead, Bro Gregory. And both my sisters, Sister Naima and Sister Miriam, say Assalamu alaikum, family. Walaikum salam. Thank y'all for watching. I wanted to ask you, sir. All right, Dr. Khalid, Abdul Muhammad, how did you, what's your memory? And can we talk about, what you told me before we went live?
Oh, yeah. I love Brother Khalid. Khalid married me in 1984 at the final call, administration building. And Lord have mercy, you know how what's the word that you could describe Khalid? Because he's so creative. I'm gonna use the word creative, and wordsmith. But man, Khalid came up with some vowels I had never heard before. I had never heard him in the end. He was so majestic, with it. Beautiful, dark-skinned brother shining and, marrying me. And I loved it. He was my friend. Me and Khalid, that's why he did it. He was honored to do it because he was my friend. And Khalid said something, and it's humorous now. It was humorous then afterward. But after the wedding was over with, oh no, before, he said, all right, Brother Gregory, and lastly, you and Sister Devonia. He said, Brother Gregory, he said, your eyes, no, he said, your heart should yearn no more. We had to say that. He said, and we was like, our hearts should yearn no more. And then he said, and Brother Gregory, your eyes shall roam no more. I said, you asking for a mighty lot. No. John, I was like, they don't put that kind of pressure on a Black
man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, but the Quran said, lower your gauge. Lower your gauge. But Khalid, man, let me tell you something. Me and Khalid, I went all over with Khalid. I introduced him to parts of Chicago he didn't know nothing about.
Mm.
Took him into the projects. When he went into the Robert Taylor homes, he heard people off the floors in the building saying, Gregory, Cisco, they called me Cisco there. And Khalid was like, wow. I said, yeah, you know, you have to build relationship. If that's what you're about, then you came in with that resume. I came in with that resume of always being not just popular, but people, an individual man that really respect the community and family and friends. And to this day, man, I'm really blessed that I have great relationships with the community.
Beautiful. All praises due to Allah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now I wanted to ask you, okay, also, we talked about the minister, we talked about the Dr. Khalid, but I wanted to speak about the because we want to come to your career now, but I wanted to ask you about the minister interviewing you to as far as the protocol and being the first protocol.
Oh
Let us
yeah.
talk about that.
Oh yeah. Before Sister Claudette and Brother Dennis was helping Claudette, and then later on, Brother Thomas, his name is Brother Raouf now.
Yes, sir.
So I was the main, but it was about proper handling of people. And the minister knew that I wouldn't have deviated from that protocol piece, but it's a part of the protocol that I'm a little different than them. I'm not sitting dignitaries on the front seat. I'm not. I'm sitting the man who can't even get in the place in the front. That was the difference between me and them, that I felt as though the people who deserve to be on the stage or the front seats are the least of our people. So I wasn't into, and I know most of the politicians, and I know, but I mean, the minister did it because it's diplomacy that, you know, we were offering. But I know for me, I'm going to make sure the little man, the little woman, the little person, the person that folks don't know and never heard of, and they out there probably don't have a ticket to get in, that's who I'm putting on the front row. Point blank. That's just me, you know, because ain't no big eyes in little you.
That's right. That's right.
You know, ain't no big eyes in little U's. We all equal in that sense. So I don't look up to so-called dignitaries or celebrities and people like that. I respect them for their ability, they craft, or you know, they gift, they skills, they talents. But I prefer making sure that the people that folks look over, that they have that good seat right in the front, and they get a chance to meet the minister or meet whoever. But yeah, and the reason why is because I believed in proper handling of people, which
Yes,
is
sir.
the teaching. The proper handling of people is more critical than anything. When the minister closed, the final call was closed for 2 weeks. I think about 2 weeks. I can't think of the year. And I was working over at the bank. And I remember Brother Akbach or Sister Ava, one of them came. It might have been Brother Wahid. And I remember them saying that the minister said, when the building opened back up, he want to make sure you at that front door greeting the people. That's the truth, greeting the people. Because I greeted the people with love. My hospitality is maybe coming from the South, but I treated people right, you know, and everybody didn't know what Assalamu alaikum meant. You know, yeah, I wasn't one of those spooky people. All at the door like you eating rocks and all. I don't do all of that. And I'm trained.
Yes, sir.
In good shape.
Yes,
but
sir.
It's the humility, man. And so when people came to that door, you know, they would come to the door and it was like, brother. I said, oh, come on, man. We got a seat with your name in it. He said, for real? I said, yeah. Take them there. And I said, look, they're going to search you. They search everybody. I'm going to get searched again, too, when I go in. So don't let that, you know, don't let that just spook you out, none of that. We just do that so that everybody's safe inside of here. That's how I talk to the people. And then some people, they come in, they say, hallelujah, hello, or whatever they say. I'm not there to correct them then. Just let them have a seat.
Yes, sir.
And hopefully, you know, don't beat them up. I was very sensitive to make sure nobody brought your negative attitude and you were out front talking about you represent God, you represent the minister, you following the honorable. Like, hell no, you ain't following them with a negative disposition. God ain't got nothing to do with that.
That's right.
People should feel the warmth of God when they see you. And if you all hard and stiff and Mr. and Mrs. Know-it-all, get out of here with that. Be nice, man. Be courteous to people, and then they'll come back. They'll want to come back. Because sometimes, brother, you can tell when some wasn't treated. They had a little experience, and some of them not able to shake it off.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I was sensitive to that.
Beautiful, Brother Gregory. And thank you, Brother Nelson says, Assalamu alaikum, beautiful family. Walaikum salam, sir. And shout out to our YouTube family, Brother Kente, Brother Musa, Sister Auntie, everybody who's watching all around the world. Brother Gregory, what advice would you give to those who aspire to work in protocol?
I would definitely let them know and definitely say to anybody that work in protocol, don't be a big eye and see the people as a little you. Go out of your way to always help that individual that nobody noticed. Go and notice them. I just go out of my way, man, to just to bless people, to do something that's totally off the record. You did?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I see
totally off the record. And I remember former Captain Sharif. We were over at UIC Pavilion, and it was a pretty chilly night. And his wife, there was something going on with her eyes. I think it's Mary. I can't think her name. Lord help me. But anyway, her sight, there was something going on with her vision. But he was just in line, a long line. And, I noticed him and I got him out that line. He was shocked. I said, oh, no, brother. No, sir. But now I came back and got some other people too. I saw some people who, were elderly. I saw some people who looked as though they were weak. Seriously, I would go and look and just get a pulse of the people, and I would take them right up and take them around the line. So anybody that wants to be out front and say you represent the teachings or you represent the minister or the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and you want to be protocol, then don't think more of yourself than you should, honestly. Don't think more of yourself than you should. Show humility, man. Show kindness. That's what Islam is all about. I don't care how many times you pray. I don't care how long you fast and how good you do Ramadan. That's all. That's great. That's beautiful. But how do you treat other people?
That's right. That's right. Beautiful teaching, Brother Gregory. Yes, sir. Okay. And you're referring to Raymond Sharif, who used to be like with
the yeah. Former Raymond Sharif.
Yes, sir.
He hugged me, man. Him and his wife. And he was like, that is so thoughtful. I said, no, that God sent me out here. I work for God. And when you work for God, Allah, then you go out of your way, man, to make a person's day.
Go ahead, Brother Greg. Yes, sir. You teach it and motivate me. Yes, sir. All right. Thank you, everyone who's watching. I wanted to ask you about the time in Chicago dealing with Jesse Jackson and that campaign and the political landscape. What was that like?
Oh, man, that was very interesting. Matter of fact, I was just talking to Jonathan. So I was friends with Jonathan and Jesse Jr. and Yusef and Jackie, knew them working over at the bank. So I knew them before the minister got involved with Operation Push. And it was just another opportunity, man, where the nation, the media, tried to sabotage the image of the nation. They tried their best. They didn't know. They just didn't know. I think though they knew, but they didn't know that in itself will become a story one day, historical story, when the minister decided to bag Jesse. We wasn't involved with politics. to that degree. And that's why the minister coined that phrase, politics, without economics is symbol without substance.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But the minister was building relationships. That man has sacrificed a lot just to help individuals who kind of turned their back on him,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
dissed him to a degree when the pressure came. But that's when I knew that he was from God. Ain't no way in the world, please. As they say, facts. That part.
Yes, sir. Yes,
period.
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
it would have
sir.
been some trolling and some doxing and some packing up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But no, but it was really a powerful experience, man. The FOI, your father, and many of the brother Mustafa, just the brothers, man, on the detail. People just knew that they were from a whole nother planet, a divine planet. And so it was beautiful to see how people respected us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How people loved us, and not so much they were afraid, but they were afraid of the God quality that they could tell was there. It was the God quality. We didn't carry no guns. They didn't have even a penknife. A nice suit on, a bow tie, or straight tie, or whatever. And so, but they feared the God in us.
Yes, sir.
And they could tell it was something different. Boy, once they come into these teachers, they ain't scared of nothing.
Yes, sir.
So it was beautiful, man. It was a blessing. I tell you, this, even, at the Million Man March, I was the first, me and Brother Dennis and Brother Jamil and Brother Ronald and Brother Thaddeus. We were the first ones out on the lawn before anybody. And you couldn't get past us unless you had certain credentials, because it was just that security, strong and tight. So yeah, man, that was a deep thing. I remember the Poe brother used to be on BET, Donnie Simpson.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I had ran into Donnie, and this man, to show you how many people was waiting to use the washrooms. And Donnie, he came up to the stage, he found me, boy. And he couldn't even talk. He had to go so bad, poor brother. And because he looked at the Porta Johns, and it was about 1,000 people waiting per 1,000 waiting to use the washroom.
Yes,
it was over 2 million men out there.
Yes, sir.
So it might have been 2,000 people waiting to use the washroom. And brother, I had to take him inside the Capitol because he was about to faint, or But anyway,
yes,
man.
Okay, well, what was the climate like leading up to the Million Man March? And how did
Oh my God, it was so beautiful. Just driving there, man. I never in my life witnessed every gas station we stopped, wherever we stopped, men hugging each other, men saying, "I love you, brother." Man, I mean, it was so contagious. It was so amazing. It was just so deep. That day, the whole world stopped. And we don't control the media, and they tried their best to interfere with that divine day. And it was so beautiful, man, just to see the brothers embracing one another, man. I mean, not a bit of negative energy, period. We just was happy. We pull up to a gas station, although they made a lot of money off us at the gas station. I wish we owned the damn gas station.
Yes, sir.
But anyway, it was beautiful. I don't think words can describe that particular day. All I know was you didn't want to miss it. You just wanted to be there. You wanted to be there a day or two before. I didn't know 2 million men were going to show up. I didn't know. I didn't. But I did know something majestic, something divine was going to happen. I knew that.
Beautiful.
So it was a great experience. And then it was so beautiful that you didn't see a peppermint wrapper. You can even find a peppermint wrapper on the ground after the Million Man March. I'm like, what? But
Excellent.
then some white guys go and go and what you call it, just go and break into the building. Some
Mm,
white guy. We had 2 million. And somebody got the nerve to call us haters and anti-Semitic and racist. And like, you shut up. You crazy. Man, the minister ain't taught us nothing but love.
that's right. That's right.
Never have told us to do anything stupid. You wouldn't be around him. You sure wouldn't be in the nation doing anything dumb. But no, it
Good.
was beautiful, brother.
Good, Bro Gregory. Yes, sir. All right, we have a quick 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast. Please continue to put your comments and questions in the comment section. 1 second. We thank you for all of the sponsors and donations. The cash apps to the People Podcast. 1 moment. And we're coming right back to Brother Gregory. He's doing a great job. Thank you, sir. 1 moment.
Any of those services. Sister Miriam's ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, and now Spanish book. All 3 available on Amazon.com. Sister Naima's Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country, right here in the studios of Atlanta Dress in the best of fashion. Brother Kenneth's Bow Tie Maker Extraordinaire. He'll ship you bow ties anywhere across the nation. Henry Carter's King Henry Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad's COVID-19 Disinfected Cleaning Services, out of Chicago. Student Minister Sharif Muhammad's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, available on adulsharif.com. And lastly, Brother Joshua Muhammad's book, Cleopatra, as well as No Father, No Excuse, both available on Amazon.
Excellent. And we have one more sponsor, Sister Share with Asiatic Minds. Please continue to enroll your children in Asiatic Minds. Teaches STEM virtually to young kings and queens all around the world. Thank you for their staff, faculty, and parents. 1 moment. All right, Brother Gregory, you spoke about something that I hadn't heard since I was, younger, about the 36 commissioners. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, the minister decided through the leadership of, at that time, Dr. Alim Muhammad, Minister Dr. Alim Muhammad, and Brother Alim was given the task to organize, recruit. It was a highly selective group of individuals to help with that conversation, that deliberation of coming up with the 9 ministries. And we was together for 7 days in Indian Lake, at Indian Lake Resort. And my roommate was Minister Rodney out of Philadelphia. Rodney is originally from Chicago. And it was called the restructuring, the reorganizing and the restructuring of the Nation of Islam. And it was good. It really helped. Again, the 9 ministries was born out of that. It was good. There's nothing wrong with critiquing, looking at your operations, looking at, and if nobody should be threatened by any new systems or discussions. The same with, I'm not into Dianetics. I know who L. Ron Hubbard is and all of that stuff. I know the history, but the part of it, just like the commission, you take the best of it and you use it to improve your services. The auditing piece with Dianetics is something that those principles is something that I understand to help people through some of their nightmares, some of their traumas, through some of their challenges, some stuff that is unresolved going on. And because you can't help anybody until you first help yourself. And then you have to come to grips with the fact that you do have some things going on inside of all of us that sometimes can be pulled out from those systems. We ain't talking about joining that and becoming into Scientology. No, please. It's much deeper.
Yes, sir. Beautiful. And what was the objective of the 36 commissioners? Like, what was the objective?
Well, it was really to come out, it was to come back and give a report that was formulated. And, you know, for me, I think my objective was, when I was asked, was to lend my perspective of how we look at certain things in the nation without people feeling like, who are you all to critique, you know, what God has established through Master Fard Muhammad, and, you know, and the teachers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We got the actual facts. We got this. We got that. Yeah, we do, but we ain't using it. We're not using it to its fullest potential. So it was really to be a prod, you know, and to have us scientifically look at everything that we were doing and to enhance everything about the teaching, not to change zero. You know, it wasn't about changing. It was just, if you restructure something or if you reorganize something, that means you want to make it better. That's all.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. Okay. Have you ever been faced with fear? And if so, how have you overcome that fear?
Oh, absolutely, man. I've definitely been faced with fear. It was a lot, man. It's been situations where I needed, people were trying to defame me, or people were wanting to embarrass me, or people, they caught you in one of your low moments in life. And it's typically with men, it's always human sexuality. It's always women. It's always infidelity. It's, you know, fear of someone seeing you in a negative light, fearing that that will be the narrative. That is what they would plaster, paste out there. So you never, when you know you're a good person, but an imperfect good person, you know, you never want your name to go around. And so you fear that. That bothered me. But, you know, a friend of mine's, and you probably familiar with him, brother attorney Lou Myers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Lou, man, we took a walk on the lakefront. Lou was like, bro, Greg, please, look, I know who you are, and don't let none of that. So that, but you know, the other fears that I think I've had was, the biggest fear was, I don't want to die without seeing Black people free. My biggest fear is that I want to live. And that's why I do practice how to eat to live, because I want to see Black people free. And as we're witnessing all the fall of America, and I just want to be accounted for. So that fear, you know, of just the fear of losing people in your life, but now I don't really fear anything anymore. I, you know, and thank God, you know, that we have support systems and people that you can talk to. But yeah, as just as a human being, it's definitely have been there. But I've been thankful. I'm so thankful to Allah for covering me and for having my back. I'm absolutely protected by God, and this is a fact. The FBI know. The FBI know. The CIA know it. The ops or the informants, they know it because they come at all of us. You know, they come at all of us. I've seen them move around. You know, and they everywhere too. Oh my God, they everywhere. They have positions too. You know, hell yeah. Why wouldn't they? You know, this is the only organization on the planet that the government fear and concerned. He don't care about the other ones. He owned them. Those are his organization. NAACP, that's his.
Yes, sir.
The Urban League, that's his.
Yes, sir.
Even Nan, Sharpton, that's his.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Sharpton is his too. But this is the only one that's free from his influence. Nope, the only one.
Go ahead, Bro Gregorys. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Well, speaking of that, I wanted to ask you, with all of that, all of the opposition, and as well as the blessings of Allah, how did you become the director of community safety and relations in Chicago? How did you maneuver in
Yeah, that's a great question. When I was at the bank and then I went to the Urban League, they placed. I became the director of the Male Responsibility Program, working with young Black males. So it was citywide. It was a highly recognized program. It was very successful. As a result of doing that, principals and school administrators, they start observing my work with young Black males, young people, period. And they offered me to come and work in the schools at that time, to be the school climate person. And, it's this love that you have for your people. And then I could see myself and the little brothers. I saw every little knucklehead Gregory walking the hallway. I was like, oh boy, I know who that is. I know that class clown. I know that one right there trying to cut. And so they really had a chance to see me in action. And they kept offering me different positions. And then all of a sudden the CEOs like, man, we need you to run this program. And we know that you have built relationships in the Black community. And we do know also that the training that this program requires, some of it is common sense, but the other part of the training is getting people to become the best of themselves so that they can give out that kind of energy, that love, that family, that camaraderie with each other, and then showing that our children, man, that we love them, and then we're here to protect them, to be their eyes and ears. So I've been doing this for like 12 years. Time for me to retire. I might say that on record, but no, it's all the teachings, man. Today I was invited to speak earlier, and I was around all Latino brothers and sisters, and I had them laughing. It was fun, and they were shocked. Saying, Mr. Sane, you come to our little small thing. I said, please. Same thing I said earlier. I said, I want you all to understand, there's no big eyes and little you. I'm no different than what you all are. We all one. We work together. So don't give me nothing special. No special treatment, because if you do that, I'm going to be uncomfortable. I'm just telling you, I prefer us doing whatever we do for each other in exchange, So yeah, I've been doing that for a while. I used to do strictly school climate. And, I've been involved with that. I did a few radio shows here and there. Carl, ain't no telling what's going to come out of my mouth. Because when I used to come on the air, I used to warn them. I said, go on and do the disclaimer, because I'm just letting you know. I told the guy, the producer, you might want to do that disclaimer today. I'm feeling like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But yes, sir.
Wonderful. Well, from growing up in Naperville, I have a view of Chicago, but a lot of people around the world have a view of Chicago now through music, through the media, where, it's like the most dangerous place.
Music in the media.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you something about that media thing. I was so glad to come back to Chicago. You do know I was Steve Harvey's manager.
No, sir, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's so much stuff, man. But that's a whole nother conversation. Doing the Kings of Comedy. And I'll say this much, I still love Steve. Later on, I think the little brother, Terrence, them started working for Steve. But I was working for Steve before that. And it was cool, man. But you was going to say something about entertainment. What was you saying about that?
Yes, sir. Help us understand why you do what you do in Chicago. If from the outside looking in, it seems like this Chirac. This is the what makes you still do the work in the city as opposed to going somewhere else where there's less crime?
Yeah. Well, I love this city because I've been here all my life where I got here in 67 from Greenville, Mississippi. I'm born in Greenville, Mississippi.
Okay,
So
I know about Greenville.
Greenville, baby, that's where I got my foundation is Greenville. So, um, but what really keeps me motivated to do this work and to stay in Chicago is that I understand the landscape and then I understand the true narrative. And I do understand too that um, there are a lot of people that really want to help, but haven't been in the positions to help.
Mm.
And because sometimes it becomes monetarily, some people they got to feed their families. But so I felt if I'm in these positions, I can help other people, and I can make sure other folks are trained to come up and it's not the wrong person in a position like this where they getting a check, but yet they ain't doing the services. So I know Chicago is not all that they say it is, and I do know you can walk around neighborhoods. There's some challenges in Chicago, but the challenges that the media have put out there, or more so the fears, the narrative, and the negative press that the electronic and social media too,
Yes, sir.
all of it's not true. It's not. It's not as crime written as they say it is. It's where I haven't experienced it. I do know that they're absolutely a different reality from the structured organizations that they call gang, but now it's sets and now it's cliques and that foolishness. So there's no organization involved with that stuff. But I think this is where I need to be in Chicago. I do move around and go to other places to work and do conferences and speak. But I'm really a Chicago man, and I really understand the landscape, even the politics in the city of Chicago. So because of my love for our community and my understanding for our community, I should be here.
Hey, Gregory, excellent question. I mean, excellent response, sir. I wanted to ask you, let's go back. Kings of Comedy. Okay, I didn't know about that. So I remember, everybody watched it. So we all, came up and Bernie Mac and Steve Harvey, DOU, all of that. What was that like managing doing that tour?
What Bernie was my man. Bernie was my guy from
Mm.
Chicago. And every time Bernie would see me in Chicago and Cedric, me and Cedric had a connection from the St. Louis thing.
Okay.
And Ted knew my father. But
Mm.
Steve had asked me to come and manage him and work with him. And so it was cool. You made a little money and you riding limos and all that stuff. But bro, that was not me.
Mm.
It was not me. I remember being in Compton and I spoke. Steve was with the Qs and they was, I guess, taking him through some of the process to finally give him entry into the Mega Sci-Fi. But he was scheduled to speak in the auditorium. So it was an auditorium full of students waiting on Steve. And Steve said, "Your ex," he called me ex. He said, "Your ex, hey man, why don't you go over there, man, and I'm gonna be a little longer out here, man." They said it's gonna be a little longer. Can you just go over there and just speak to the students? You'll be all right. I'm sure you'll be all right. I was like, yeah, I think I should be all right. But when the Steve got there, brother, he was scared to come on the stage after me. Because I was in my element talking to the babies, and even though they are celebrities and sometimes you get an automatic, acceptance because your name is out there, you got the Hollywood lights around you. But it was a good experience. I have to say, I'll always be thankful, Steve and Boomerang and JT, and even his former wife, Mary. And, I ain't gonna get into any that stuff, but I'll say this, that I'm very thankful of that experience. And it let me know that I'm doing what I should be doing. Thank you, Almighty God, Allah. Because I'm not going to be singing that song that Stevie Wonder wrote called Rocket Love. And that Rocket Love was, you took me riding on a rocket ship, and about a half a mile from heaven, you drop me back down to this cold world. So sometimes people get fame and fortune, and you thinking that you done made it, but you unfulfilled. God will place you where you need to be placed. And if you just doing stuff for vanity reasons and you just want to be seen, oh yeah, man, please give me a break. I mean, honestly, when you stayed with Jim Brown, I drove Kwame Ture around Chicago. During Hurricane Katrina, I introduced Dick Gregory. I was the moderator at the Today's Black Women Expo. Bro, when I tell you that I've been blessed, I remember one time taking a minister to the airport. It was funny. It wasn't funny taking him to the airport, but the minister's got an amazing sense of humor. Oh my God. And so Mother Khadijah, she's like, Gene, she called him Gene. Gene, the brother here to pick you up. And the minister said, what brother? And he said, tell what brother, whoever it is, to step over here. Let me see who giving me a ride. And then I stepped over there and he said, oh, I ain't getting in no car with him. Ain't no way. I said, oh, brother minister, what you say? He said, I'll be right down, brother Gregory. I ain't kidding. So then I had just bought a brand new 1986 Peugeot, that little French car. They should stick to making pastries because that car was nice, but it didn't last long. But anyway, real quick. And the minister, I couldn't wait for the minister to see my new car. And I had the Tribune newspaper, the Sun Times, and the Defender. I had all the newspapers. I grabbed the minister's bag. He got in it. See, but first, before he even got in my car, brand new, shiny, he said, brother, the minister ain't riding in no regular car like this, brother. Yeah. Why would you take the minister to the airport and rag? Then he got in. He said, brother, this is sure a fine car. Nice, brother Gregory. And then, but I'm paying attention to the road. I ain't trying to have no conversation with you, brother minister. And he said it too. He said, oh, so you're not going to talk to the minister, brother Gregory? He said, all right, I'll leave you alone. So, man, moments like that, you could never, ever, I remember calling the palace one time, and Sister Sophia at that time picked up. And then the minister, she said the minister wanted to talk to me. So when the minister got on the phone, I sometimes I not forget, but sometimes you just need to be humorous sometimes. So just be yourself. Don't be all phony and fake around the minister.
Yes, sir.
And so the minister said, he said, how you doing, brother minister? I said, oh, brother minister, I'm just rolling like a donut. He dropped the phone laughing. And she said, what did you say to the minister? He cracking up. And sometimes a man like him and even Sister Khalid, sometimes we need to just be balanced. We need to, always show respect and honor, but don't be phony. Sometimes just be yourself, man. He needs that. He needs that. We all need that.
That's right. Go ahead, Gregory. Well, speaking of back in the day, from the 80s and 90s, Sister Sophia and things of that nature, what was it like being around my father?
Oh, man, your father, and I remember when they first got here, him and at that time, Brother Kiel Rotten. They were, they was traveling around with the minister. We were friends, we friends, and they knew I knew Chicago, and they absolutely enjoyed the fact that I knew the city. They knew I was a staple in the city. So it was really good, man, to see everybody growing. We was quick thinking, fast moving, right down to the modern times. When your father, it was definitely quick thinking, fast moving, right down to the modern time. So it was good. It was an honor. It was a pleasure. And I think, I watched them grow. I watched them grow. They watched me grow. I think your father's around the same age, right? I think he's, about 65 or something?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Right. And so I think a year older than him. But so it was good, man. For me, I've always been a helper. I've always been a team player. And so I was running around the nation in, little groups. I got along with everybody. And whoever was in charge, I respected their posts. I respected the duty that they had. They had a huge responsibility. And the minister looked for him for that leadership, like he did, Mustafa and Colin and everybody,
Yes, sir.
It's a trial, it's always a trial. But yeah, I've always had the utmost respect for all of them that have served in that capacity, man. And it was, again, they were so clean. One thing about your father was that he kept himself up. He loved order,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
etc. So he always wanted things to be neat and right. I met him when he was in DC, at the tape connection. You heard of the tape connection, right?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Bro Gregorys. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we got 2 more questions.
But I'm thankful for your mom.
Okay, yes, let's talk about my mom then. Okay.
Yeah, no, but I'm thankful for your mother and your father, man. So when you're talking about how to give birth to a God, and that means power. God means power, and you represent that in terms of using this platform to disseminate information, and it makes some people day, it makes some people laugh, it makes some people think, it can help some people grow. So look at the vessels you come from, and look at what was born out of that marriage, and etc., brother. So I'm very, very, very crystal clear. Giving birth to a God is now, look at the work that you're doing, brother. Who would have known? So what a blessing. And believe me, nothing but smiles and cheers and applause and heartfelt, like thankfulness to see you doing the work that you're doing, man. I am so impressed and so thankful for your parents and their parents and all the other people that have, been good to you and have motivated you and inspired and supported you to be what the man that you are today.
All praise is due to Allah. Yes, sir. And Brother Gregory, on behalf of myself and my family and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast, we want to thank you for your sacrifices and the many sacrifices of your family as well. We truly appreciate this. My father speaks very highly of you, and this is an honor that you would take time out of your busy schedule to come on the People's Podcast. We got 2 brief questions for you. The first one is,
what's your address so I can mail the check? No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Oh, we'll definitely see that.
You want us to Zelle it or cash it? But go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask your favorite album of all time.
Oh, Lord, my favorite album of all time.
Yes, sir.
I like my father's music, but honestly, my favorite would have to be, it's between, because I got all these playlists. It's got to be Marvin Gaye, between Marvin and Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
I think. Well, yeah, I'm getting ready to Earth, Wind & Fire, but Marvin Gaye.
You can't go wrong. So you saying like Distant Lover, Marvin Gaye?
Yeah, Distant Lover, baby.
Okay.
Distant Lover.
Okay. Woo! You can't go wrong with that.
My man. But I honestly, one of my favorite singers ever, is like Michael Henderson. I know he ended up passing down in Atlanta, but Michael made You Are My Starship, Be My Girl. Michael wrote for the Dramatics and all those groups. But your uncle Jamil, he know all of that stuff. Boy, that boy is a music genius. I swear to God, that boy knows some music, man.
Yes, sir.
Woo! But yeah, I think that would be so far. I might have to come back and edit that. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, yes, sir. Well, last question for you is, what would you like your legacy to be?
My legacy, I would like to be a motivator, an inspire, a mentor, a man that loved Black people unconditionally. my legacy to be this brother that really cared so much for Black people that he spoke truth to power, unapologetic, you know. So I would want my legacy to be a Black man that cared, and then a Black man to know that a nation could rise no higher than its woman.
Excellent. Go ahead, Bro Gregory. And Bro Gregory, have you ever been in the ministry or no?
Yeah, the minister actually put me in the ministry. He did. He put me in it himself, and it's on record. And I was standing on the rostrum, and the minister was inviting all of the ministers to the palace for dinner. And he said, he was like, Brother Jabril, come to dinner. Brother Don, come to dinner. Brother Wyatt, you know, Brother Eileen, come to dinner. Brother so-and-so, come to dinner. Sisters. And then when he was walking, you know, to the back, he did this to me. And then he said, come to dinner. You a minister. And I got in the ministry class for a minute. But this I am a, you know, ministry is not the rostrum, though.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Tell you, that is not the ministry. Not the ministry that God has placed on me. The real work, the real ministry is out here in the community, at home, interacting with the people.
Yes,
that's
sir.
the real ministry.
That's right.
That's the real work. The other lecturing is fine, you know, and it has its place where you give a good lecture. But the real work is interacting with the people, administering this teaching in a real way. So.
Beautiful. Go ahead, Gregory. Yes, sir. All right. Well, thank you, everyone who's watched. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam. Love you all. Love you, brother. And
yes,
love
sir.
all you all that support this program. And we got to make sure this program becomes the #1 because it's going to help in the ministry of our people.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. I received that. Thank you very much. And thank you all for watching.